Hey guys, it's Zero here. I got another quick product overview I wanted you guys to check out. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I finally got the chance to meet up with a buddy of mine. He let me take a closer look at his saber, and I kind of wanted to show you guys this pretty well done, very cool saber. This is from Vader's Vault. It's one of their combat sabers. It's called the Ardent Elite. And this one has a lot of features in it that my buddy paid for, because at the time he ordered it, he wanted to have all the features available, and he wasn't sure about which color he wanted for the blade and the emitter. So he got the the Tri-Cree LED setup so that he could switch between colors. So it's got like the Sun Crusher LED setup with the RGB LEDs, just so, like I said, so he could actually swap colors however he felt, because depending on what he wanted to use for that day. As you can see, the body's all in black, and he actually was able to get them to change the colors for him, because these are originally supposed to be brushed aluminum, just like the end of the pommel here. But he paid to have this all blacked out, with the exception of the little circuitry right here. He had that all blacked out. Then he had him add the copper accents, which are pretty cool. And originally, got a cool Iron Man style emitter blade plug. I had picked it up a while ago and he didn't have one, so I was just kind of like, you know what, it's probably cool, just throw it in there, that way you protect the LEDs, and he's got it in there. It looks really cool. It's very narrow, but it's got a really good grip. Like, you can get a good purchase all the way down to the belt plug or belt clip. It's got a pretty solid pommel. And there's the speaker in there. So I think he's running a Plector Labs Crystal Shard sound card, which is it's a pretty good sound card for sabers, especially nowadays. It comes with, he got it with flash on clash, so when you smack the saber, it does the spark, things like that. You can actually set, this one, you can plug it into your computer, and you can actually set all of its parameters. So you can set the colors of the blade, the variation in color of the blades, you can set the sound. The sound card came preloaded with 3 sound fonts, but it can hold up to 6, so that's pretty cool. And I've seen some people actually put music in some of their sound fonts so that it's playing different tunes. You can do all that stuff. He just keeps it pretty basic, but it's very, very cool. So yeah, and I think the sound card does all that stuff. So he came with a heavy grade blade, Vader's Vault's heavy grade blade, so you could duel with it, because he knew we were going to be fighting with these. We were going to be smacking each other around. He's actually dropped it. You can actually see right there a little bit of damage, but it's very cool. Gave it some color and some character. All in all, I mean, it's got a good feel. I mean, you gotta learn to wrap your hands around it a certain way. I mean, you could choke up higher if you wanted to. I don't like choking up on the narrow neck, because it's got that slim neck design. And a lot of people say that, those slim neck designs aren't very stable, they're not very good, but I gotta be honest, he's used it, we've dueled with him, and I think it's pretty solid. Like, he's not light-handed with this. None of us are, actually, in our group. We're very, rough on our toys, and this has stood up pretty damn good with some of the other contenders that we have. So, I dare say maybe Vader's Vault got it right, I don't know, over some of the other companies, but it's really solid, really good made quality. So I'm going to turn this thing on here. So he's got 2 switches. He's got the anodized activation switch, which has an orange light around it. There's also a switch right here underneath to help you do different functions on the saber, which I kind of thought was pretty cool. So let me turn this on and give you guys a taste of the sound. So that's the boot up. That's the red. And you can actually, if you hit the switch and the activation switch at the same time, you can actually change the color of the blade. So that's kind of like an ambery yellow. I don't know if it's coming in on the camera very well, but there's like a nice green. There's a blue. There's a nice soft blue. And that purple, that Vader's Vault purple. This is actually pink, believe it or not. It's a neon pink. And then there's a white, almost white. There's a very pale green. And then the red again. So you've got your sounds. You've got your deflecting sounds. And you've got your clash on. That's when you tie up. So let's change the sound font. So it actually changes the sound of the blade, the startup, and all the humming and stuff. It also changes the sound of the deflectors. That's really cool. Even the flash on clash changes, like the color it is during each preset, that's really cool. So, and if you set a color, let's say you wanted to set it to a different color. Okay. Now, let's go to a different font. And then we go back. It stays where you set it. So that's actually really cool. Now, on my personal saber, you actually have to twist your saber in order to get to your fonts. That's just the way the sound card was. But this one is actually programmed to use a switch, which is really cool. It just makes it a lot easier to like handle it and then switch it out if you needed to. So I'm going to take this blade plug out real quick and show you guys what it looks like with a blade in it. So it's just a small little hex screw right here that they used to set the blade plug. So there's the blade plug. Like I said, it's got a Tony Stark arc reactor core there. See, it's pretty bright. I'm in a well-lit room with fluorescent lighting. It's actually pretty bright. change the sound font. It's very cool. And then that's your red. So you see it's pretty bright. It fades a little bit towards the end of the blade, but most sabers do that. This is a Vader's Vault, or this is a Saber Forge Infinity V4. So it's not bad. I really like that right there. That light fading is pretty cool. Let's go to the last one. Green's a little bit soft. It's not as bright as some of the other greens I've seen, but I do like the pulsating light, and I think you can set that too. When you get on your computer, you can actually set the vibration of the light, how much how frequent it pulses, and again, you can set the different colors for the Clash on Flash. Pretty cool setting. So, all in all, I think it's a really cool saber, considering some of the other ones I've come across. And I've seen some pretty cool ones. I've seen some custom ones, some Corbanth saber hilts. You know, I've got a saber forge. My buddy's got a saber forge. I've got a ultra saber. You know, definitely one of the higher end saber companies out there, and it took, if I remember correctly, it's on the website it says 16 to 22 weeks. It took a lot longer than that for him to get his saber. He doesn't have a kill switch or a kill key, and I think that was just something he chose not to get, which is, you know, that's fine. Everybody, you know, you get what you want on these. That's the nice thing about these companies is this, especially like this one, you can literally order every single thing you want and don't want on here, which is kind of cool, you know. The hilt system that they have is not as completely unique or customizable like the Custom Saber Shop or Saber Forge's Asp sabers or anything like that, but you know you're buying this hilt. You can decide what kind of switch you want, you know, what color belt clip. You know, he got the different paint on the top of the, underneath the emitter and the top of the switch panel, you know. But everything internally you can customize, which is really cool. But you know, they're expensive. These are expensive sabers. They're not cheap. It's not something you're going to spend $100 on, and you know, and have like a flashlight with that, you know, with a plastic blade. You know, this setup right here will run you about $560, $570, give or take, depending on, you know, when you order. So it was expensive, and from what I can tell, he's got no regrets about the purchase. You know, he loves the purchase. He wanted it for the premiere of episode 7, so Force Awakens. He wanted it for the premiere. He ordered it like, I want to say he ordered it like 5 months in advance. And I don't know if it was just because the websites were so backed up with orders. Vader's Vault, Saber Force, they were all backed up. So he didn't wind up getting his till the day after the premiere, which, I mean, it's not the only reason he wanted it. Obviously, he wanted his own custom lightsaber, you know, that he could duel with. But as well, it looked, and you know, it worked really well, which this does. This admittedly works extremely well. It's extremely high quality. The finish is really nice. It's smooth. It's got like anodized finish, brushed aluminum. You can see he's got some scratches. You know, this coating here, not sure. I think it's a powder coating, but I'm not 100% sure on it. But it's still smooth. It's finished really well. So he got a great saber. It just took a really long time to get that saber made, and excuse me, a really long time to get it to him, which I guess would be one of the negatives. You know, if there was one, it would be that it took a little too long to get it. You know, for the price that he paid. You know, you would It's just my opinion, but I feel like unless he's completely changing this hilt, like add this and add that and add this pieces and stuff, this hilt should have been finished, right? So it's a matter of installing the electronics and the lighting and everything like that. I'm not saying it's easy to do. I'm just saying by now you guys should have that under your belt. Vader's Vault's been around a really long time, you know, and they've done this for a long time. So they're not new to it, you know. So I felt like he had to wait longer than he should have, but you know, it was definitely worth the frustration he went through with that. And as I said, I don't think at this point he regrets this purchase at all. Like, you know, I feel like he's extremely happy with this. He definitely had his with sound and lighting before we had ours, which, you know, we had ours without light sound. It just had the light, but still, I mean, he got his sound in and everything all taken care of at the same spot, which is really cool. But I did ask him, he's got a little tiny, I don't know if it'll come through on screen, but there is a tiny nick right here on the hilt. Tiny, and I mean, like I said, he's used this a lot. We've dueled with him. We've slapped each other around. You know, it's what kids do when they get lightsabers. Or grown kids do when they get lightsabers, I should say. Asking him now, would he have gotten this? He still says yeah, but he probably would have done what Rob and I did, which is buy the hilt that he wanted and then went to someone to customize the sound and the internals and stuff like we did. You know, unfortunately, we didn't know the person that my buddy Larry, he did the sound for my saber and Rob's. We didn't know him at the time. Had we had known him, he probably would have done the same thing. He would have gotten the saber from the company he wanted a hilt from, you know, just an empty hilt, and then had someone install the electronics for him. Or even probably done them. He's pretty good at it, so he probably would have done it himself if he had known a little more about them. So that's just something, you know, you can do with these sabers. You can order yourself a hilt, and you can put all this stuff in yourself. It's not easy, you know, by any means. I'm not saying everybody can do it. I'm just saying that it is an option. It's not something you're stuck with. Just, you know, if you just want one right out the bat, you don't want to worry about all that, you don't want to fuss with it, then you do that. You pay that top dollar and get yourself a good saber, you know. And I feel like this is going to last him a really long time, unless some sort of, you know, he loses it in a Jedi duel or something, or, you know, during a high-speed Jedi chase. You know, he's going to have this for a really long time. So, you know, I think that it was a good deal. It was a good purchase. He doesn't regret it, and that's what counts, right? Like that's what's important. So I think for the money he spent, it was a little high to me, but he got exactly what he wanted. So not a bad deal. So this is the Vader's Vault combat saber, the Ardent Elite, with all the lights and sound adjustments you could possibly make on these things. So that is very cool. Very cool. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have a Vader's Vault, which one you have, or if you have something from another company you like more. You've had these, you don't like them, you do like them. I'd like to hear about it. All right, guys, thanks for watching.